What I think is going to be in the portal wants list, though, is going to probably be somebody from defense. So let's talk about the defense. We go to our guy, Tennisump. Tennisump says, wake up. We appreciate when people say that. How much faith do you guys have that Tony White will really bring a hard-hitting, aggressive defense that will be, say, top 25 in year number one? I know he's done it in his last 2 stops, but does he have the talent to do it now? And will they really be aggressive and dynamic right away? Thanks as always for all that you guys do. Our guy didn't win last week or 2 weeks ago, lost in a tiebreaker to a fellow Birminghamian, which I think that's what you call people from Birmingham. There's a particular word for what you call people, the term for people that are from a specific area. I don't know the name of that word. I'll find it someday.
Yeah. Okay.
But in the meantime, I think this is worth jumping into a little bit more, Corey, diving into a little bit more, sparking conversations, perhaps generating discussions sparked by Cummins all coming together at once. Corey, if you could energize us, please.
One more. There we go.
This is why you guys really need to also tap into the YouTube version every now and then, or at least watch the standalone video.
You get to see my athleticism.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just hearing,
Yeah, it sounds a little awkward. Yeah, it's a little weird, but yeah.
What's not weird is Cummins, everybody. CumminsLifestyle, give them a follow on Instagram. That's all we're asking. Cummins, a global power technology leader, everybody. See all the cool things you can do with the own line of products. That includes the portable generators, the portable power stations. This is actually a solar panel kit to re-energize my portable power station. Cummins doesn't leave no one's stone unturned when it comes to giving you all the power you need for your recreational lifestyle. All right, Corey. So, yeah, I guess I don't want to turn this thing on its head. It's Tennisump's question. So, I mean, right there at face value, what do we think? What's the likelihood? Will he really be able to bring a hard-hitting, aggressive defense this year?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have faith in it. A good bit of faith in it, not because of the words he says, although the way he talks is wonderful. I've loved listening to him. I believe in the message. I believe that the players believe in the message. I think he has a way. He and Coach Knighton, specifically on that defensive line, have probably a way of connecting with players that should, bring success. But it's what he's done. It's the track record that gives me the faith, not the words. So Syracuse had a tough defense to prepare for. I think he was at Syracuse for 2 years. I know they got run over by Florida State the one game. The other game, it took as he would point out, a non-holding call on a Jordan Travis scramble on the final drive that set up a big run by Travis and a game-winning field goal by Fitzgerald. That defense, even though without a lot of talent, was a pretty sturdy defense by Syracuse standards without a lot of talent. And they were a bowl-ish team each of those years without the kind of he didn't have a lot of Darrell Jacksons on that team, or Shaheem Browns maybe, or Jabril Rawlses, or James Williamses. And then he goes to Nebraska, and they're really good. They are a top 20 defense. I don't necessarily think he has the talent level of that Nebraska team from last year right now. So I'm not here to say they're going to have a top 25 defense or one of the top 2 defenses in the ACC, but I absolutely have 100% faith that they will be appreciably better. That's all I can give you. I do have faith in that. I don't know that they're going to be incredible or even good, but they will be better. Yeah, I would say the same thing about the offense. I just have faith that these 2 guys know what they're doing and can scheme up defenses that are really hard, and on Malzahn's side, offenses that are really hard to figure out for the opposing side. I think Tony White has a chance to be one of these up-and-coming superstar coaches. And I do have faith that he'll get this defense to at least be better, much better. But what does that look like, Aslan? Top 50, top 30, top 10? I don't know.
I think the dream was deferred for 2 years at Syracuse. So he inherited the 115th ranked total defense. Year one, which again, this is probably also a weird thing because it was COVID. His first year at Syracuse was 2020, so it was the COVID year. They went up 3 spots to 112.
There you go. Hey, that sounds to me like the start of a climb.
It does. But the following year, so like his first full, if you want to call that year 0, so then technically his first year, if you're subscribed to that sort of stuff. 2021 at Syracuse, they go from being 112th in total defense to 19th.
Wow. Did they really?
Yeah.
And again, this is starting with the age of the portal. This is the portal era. Jermaine Johnson came to Florida State that year, so I'm sure Syracuse got an influx of talent. But by no means do I think Syracuse was able to attract the level of talent that Tony White and Florida State can. So wouldn't that give you hope? And then I don't know what they did in 22, Aslan, but then in Nebraska in 23 and 24, they were at least top 20 defenses both those years, I think, or close to it.
I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
19th in 2021 at Syracuse, and then they were 20th in 2022 at Syracuse.
So not a fluke. Not a fluke.
No. So that gets him the job in Nebraska. Nebraska was 99th in 2022. So the year before he shows up, what led to him, this is not acceptable. We need somebody new. So they go from 99th, they go to 11th in 2023.
Wow. So Tennis up to answer your question, 100% faith. 100% faith that they finish top 25. That's what he does. That's crazy. Now remind people where Florida State finished last year in total defense, if you can find that, because I would imagine it wasn't great.
And to your point about it not being a fluke at Syracuse, he goes from 19th to 20th. Last year, they were 18th in total defense at Nebraska. So they went from 11th to they backslid all the way to 18th. But we would all kill for that because last year, as Corey said, Florida State's defense, not good. Total defense for Florida State last year in that 2-10 dismal campaign, they were 86th in total defense.
In Florida State, so that's 4 straight top 20 defenses he's had at 2 different schools.
Two different conferences,
and taking over worse defenses than the one he's taking over this year statistically. Again, though, it's hard to even say because so many new players that he'll be working with that weren't a part of this defense last year. But there are some holdovers. And look, man, there is a chance this guy is the absolute real deal and is a coaching stud. And you might not have him for long, but he is going to make this. I get all the residents. That's my word of the week about how good this team can be. And I'm not sitting here telling you to book your tickets for Charlotte or wherever the national championship game is, but you have to understand that the improvements they made, not just roster-wise, because that's important, but what they made on the coaching side should pay huge dividends immediately. Is a huge dividend an 8-win season? I don't know. Is it a 6-win season? I don't know. Or 10? Who knows? But they are going to be so much better, so much more well-coached, prepared, dialed up in the middle of a game, aggressive, physical, than what we saw last year. I'm really, really excited about that. And they will, I do have faith that they'll play with some real physicality and aggression too.
And another thing to also kind of keep in mind here is that when Tony went to Syracuse, I think that was the first time he was that was his first time as like a sole defensive coordinator, not in a co-capacity. But he had to obviously put together a staff there. When he went to Nebraska, he brought some of these guys along with him that he had accumulated over the years. Like he brought, with him in 2023 in Nebraska, he had Terrence Knighton with him. He also had Evan Cooper. So when he started Syracuse, the reason maybe the dream was deferred 2 years, not only the pandemic, obviously, but probably trying to figure out guys that would work well with him, like what kind of guys he wanted as actual assistants underneath him. Well, he identified those guys when he was in Lincoln, Nebraska, and he brought them all with him to Tallahassee. So there's that one other piece of the puzzle that's already in a better state than it was the last 2 times around for him. So
yeah, and talking to KJ Kirkland, the safety on whenever that was, Tuesday, just ask it. He lights up. So many of these players light up when they talk about the defense and playing in it, and just how much fun it is, and how much creativity he allows them, and not creativity like they get to decide what they're doing. But if they're not
latitude,
but if they're not going to blitz, he does not mind them pretending to blitz, like walking up like they're going to blitz, or if they absolutely are blitzing, to walk back as if they're not, like to get comfortable with fooling and trying to screw with the quarterback. And kids like doing that, man. They like to have a little ownership of what they're doing. And the way when he said how much fun it was, because I asked him, it sounds like it's a lot of fun. This defense is a lot of fun. And he's basically like, you have no idea. It's unbelievable. And I just think letting these players feel free. They're not playing free. They still have to follow their assignments. They have assignments. They're coached to do things, but feel as if there's a real freedom to play with, and to play with speed and to preach even if you're going to make a mistake, do it at full speed. Quit worrying so much about where you're supposed to be and worry about just getting there fast. All of the stuff that White preaches, along with confusing offenses, it's just going to be more fun. It's just going to be more fun. It's going to be what wouldn't be more fun than last year, Aslan? A root canal would be more fun.
Hey, man, Daryl Jackson chasing down receivers, 15, 20 yards downfield. Earl Little is him. James Williams unleashed, and apparently he's going to have all of Nebraska hate watching him, so he's probably not going to want to perform poorly at all. So lots of things in the favor of Tony White replicating a top 25 defense. So feel good about, I will say, a vastly improved. I don't want to say top 25, but like top 40. Is that fine?
Sure. Yeah.
Shout out to my guy, Kaysen. Shout out to our friends over at Cummins. Cummins Lifestyle. It's all one word. Give them a follow on Instagram, y'all. Deuces, Corey.